Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of rokrbox TV. My name is Josh Cunningham. I'm the founder and CEO here at rokrbox. Today, I'm joined by one of our account managers here at rokrbox, Jared Knowles. How's it going, Jared?
Hey, everyone. Excited to be here and excited for the hangout today.
Awesome, and we've got a very special guest, one of our recent client success stories, Mr. Trey Willard out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Trey is also a Tom Ferry coach. And in fact, as a Berkshire Hathaway real estate team, he's part of the Gold Chairman Circle and also the #1 team in Berkshire Hathaway for the entire state of Louisiana. So congratulations, Trey, and welcome today.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to providing some value to those rokrbox clients and anyone who might be interested in using you guys in the future.
Awesome. Well, why don't we just get started and tell our audience a little bit more about yourself, Trey. Tell us where you're from, kind of how long you've been in the business, and what your current team size and structure is like.
Yep. So been in business since 2000, kind of latter part of 2009, early 2010. I've kind of worked my way up the food chain. I started out as an administrative assistant for a team. Well, I say a team, an individual agent at the time. Moved into a buyer's agent position. Was with him for about 2.5 years. Had an opportunity to start my own, start a residential division with a smaller commercial boutique firm. We did that, was with them from 2012, middle 2012 till last year. He sold his business to another larger commercial firm. And then that's in May of 2015 is when it's actually, I'm sorry, 2000. So yeah, in May of this year in 2017, we made 1 year with Berkshire Hathaway United Properties. So I now have a team leader so we got an administrative assistant, we got a part-time marketing director, and then I have myself, the CEO, listing specialist, and we had 3 buyer's agents. Unfortunately, we just lost one, and we're down to 2, and we hired a 3rd buyer's agent who actually start first of the year. So that's the team. Last year, I did 113 units for around 20 million. This year we'll finish right around the 20 million range. Which is a little bit of a growing pains year for us, hence why you guys are actually a part of our system now. And we'll finish up right at around 100 units for the year. So
Great. So what exactly caused you to really consider rokrbox? Was there a particular problem that you were trying to solve, or what really made you take that move?
Yeah, so for me, there's always the inconsistencies of lead follow-up. And I think with agents, I mean, unless you're like, and I hate to use the word micromanaging, but, accountability level as far as like, are they going to be on an appointment when a lead comes in? Is it going to be, 6 o'clock on a, Sunday evening? You really have a hard time, trying to figure out how consistent the follow-up is when the leads come in. And we know in our industry that speed to lead is the most important thing in order to convert leads at a significantly higher level. So we know within 5 minutes that we reach out to these people, that's the highest opportunity, and that we know that also, I think 6 to 9 contacts are inevitably kind of the sweet spot, the number. I think a lot of agents give up pretty early in the lead conversion process. And with that being said, I'll be completely honest with you guys. I had no idea what kind of follow-up the leads were getting in. I felt like we were really, I don't want to say wasting money, but we were definitely, we were wasting money. And I wanted to know that every time a lead came in, it was going to be followed up with quickly. There was going to be a system and a process. They were going to get multiple phone calls, emails, and text messages. And I wanted to just have, just to feel confident that the money that we were spending in, Boomtown paid leads, Zillow, some of the Facebook ad stuff that we're running, that everything was being followed up with consistently. And I say consistently because there was zero consistency on how leads were followed up with in my process. To take that a little step further, we looked at an in-house ISA and the cost for that. We looked at burnout, right? Because we know that these ISAs that are just literally like dialing all day long, whether it's lead follow up, whether it's circle prospecting, whether it's FSBOs expires, whatever that.
They don't get very excited to do that again the next day, right?
I can't. Look, I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? I know my buyer's agents don't want to do it all the time. So that was another thing for us, is just kind of a cost, right? So we bring somebody in here. What do we pay them? You know what I mean? How do we keep them from burning out? And then training, right? This is going to take a lot of time. So this was just a turnkey package that, that we could use. And as far as like cost, I feel like the value is really really solid. So that's why we chose to use you guys.
That's great. We were talking a little bit before we got on the session here. You were kind of talking about some of that momentum that you can feel. You talked a lot about consistency and making sure that the right system is executed consistently every single day. What are some of the effects that you've noticed from that momentum after being on the service for several months now?
Yeah, so the beginning of the year for us, and like I kind of mentioned at the beginning, we've suffered some growing pains, and growing pains for us were, putting systems and processes. I stepped a little out of production to where I'm not working the buyers, I'm not working the leads as much as, or not at all really anymore. I'm focusing on listings in my sphere of influence and my past clients. That's kind of my big lead source. So transferring the skills, I think was something that took some time, just getting our buyers agents, scripted and role played to where when those objections came in, how did they handle them? And I think there was a little bit of a fear of the phone. So once we saw you guys implemented in, we've been doing this for a little over 90 days. And I think the conversion ratio right now, what you guys are giving us is about anywhere between 18 to 20% opportunities, which is huge. Before that, we weren't getting anywhere near, those. And I'd follow up with the buyer's agents and just say, hey, what's going on? How's the conversations? Let's work on this. And there was never really a solid answer other than, we're having a hard time getting people on the phone. But now, we saw our business. We had months where, we had some crappy months. And, the last couple months, we've seen, our pending files go up significantly. And then we're seeing the leads that you guys are working, that you guys are nurturing. We're seeing people, and even the ones you guys are transferring back to our agents, we're seeing people get more engaged and just, for whatever reason, whether it was a nurture or whether it's a good time for them, they're now raising their hand. So I can go ahead.
Just to back up just a little bit, you said that you've been able to focus more on your higher income producing activities, having this, these online leads taken care of. You're seeing 18 to 20% conversion, and your agents are getting more engaged.
That's right. So our business, we track everything that we do. We do roughly 75 to 80% referral business. I'd like to see the referral business not drop by any means, but I'd like to see our online lead conversion go up, which will obviously change those stats. So we know our gold is in our SOI PC. So we focus, and spend a lot of time on our database. So absolutely, Jared, just gives us more time for our buyer's agents to focus on that. rokrbox qualifies a lead, they pass it over to a buyer's agent, and the buyer's agent now has a fairly warm lead, whether that's a nurture, somebody who's going to be 6 months out or longer, whether that's a hot lead, somebody who's ready to transact like right now, or whether that's somebody that's a little bit more longer term just to kind of keep your eye on. I think for the buyer's agent, I think they feel more comfortable and more confident picking up the phone and calling those because they've already kind of been warmed up a little bit.
Yeah, I noticed you also mentioned that you said you're a coach for Tom Ferry, and obviously when you're building your own team, you're your coach for your team,
right.
And these internet leads can be a little discouraging from time to time because there is so much invalid information, wrong phone numbers, and people that just will never answer the phone, or people that blow off once they do finally pick up the phone. So it is a bit discouraging to get your agents charged up and motivated and excited. Talk to me a little bit more about how much easier it is to have an impact your coaching on your agents when you're able to help them focus on like the 18 to 20 people that actually expressed interest in buying a home, rather than having to worry about the other 100 people that are a wrong name or wrong number or somebody who's never going to answer the phone. It allows you to focus your coaching a lot more on actual opportunities. So talk to us a little bit about the impacts that's made on you and your team.
Yeah, so before you guys before we started implementing the rokrbox system, we're generating roughly anywhere between 80 and 100 leads, and I believe in the 30 to 35 leads a month per agent, because what happens is you'll start to see that pipeline. So it goes from 35 to 70, from 70 to 100 and some change, and then before you know it, you've got several hundred people in your database, and we know we've seen those agents kind of cherry pick the ones that are the most likely to transact within the next 30 to 60 90 days, and all the other ones that are just like I always use the example of like kind of buying a used car or a new car, right? Everybody kind of starts, we know 97% of people start looking online, so they're not super duper interested. Maybe they are, maybe they're not, but it's our opportunity, and of course you guys' opportunity to get in there and find out the ones who are warmed up and ready to go. So as far as on the coaching front of that, we can focus and say, hey, look, here you're going to get maybe 5 or 6 transfers, maybe 10 transfers this month. So those 10, we really want you to focus on those. So we have a process after you guys transfer them over, and depending on the category, right? Depends on if it's more of a watch, and more if it's a nurture, and depends, if they're ready to roll right now. This is how we're gonna focus on these people, and this is how we're gonna contact them. And then this is going to give us the opportunity to focus on our higher dollar productive activities. And then it also gives us more time to focus on new lead sources. So.
Awesome. So how have the ramp up sessions with Zach every month helped hold you and your agents more accountable and kind of learn best practices on those leads?
Yeah. So ramp up's been awesome, probably more awesome for me than it has been for the team, because I don't spend as much time as I probably should in Boomtown and, really micromanaging, and I say managing, holding the agents accountable, but getting in there and kind of dialing in and seeing how the leads are being contacted. Best practices like the kind of the double dial, which I think is huge as far as getting somebody on the phone. And then Zach's really been able to help me kind of go in and like what to look for. As far as, hey, Trey, these leads, they're still in a new category. Someone needs to get in here, and qualify these guys. Or, hey, this person hasn't really been, contacted in, X amount of time. Really suggest you have your agents reach out to them. So I'd say it's better for me. But what's great about it with the team is this gives me an opportunity to talk to the 2 buyers agents and say, hey, look, what do you guys feel like? Is there any struggles? Is there anything, that we could like work on with rokrbox? Is there, are they marking tags wrong? Are they passing leads over that aren't necessarily considered qualified, or what is it? And it gives us a chance to talk about that, and then we can go back to you guys and we can express, hey, these are some of the struggles we're having, but what can we do? What do you guys suggest? How can we make this better? How can we convert these leads at a higher level? But for us, like I said, we're super excited about what's going to happen. When we can really track it 6 months to a year out.
That's awesome. And just want to make a comment. I can talk about what your goals are and what your future objectives are for the year. I can see you've got a nice vision board, dream board behind you there. Is that your 2018 version or your 2017?
This is kind of the 2017, and things have changed, but still really stayed the same. As you can see, coaching was one of my goals for 2017, and I was fortunate enough to become a coach. I got to speak at Summit in front of 6,000 people at a Tom Ferry event, which is pretty awesome. But there's a few things on there that still, one day I want to write a book. I've got, Greece on there. My wife and I got married in Napa, so that's somewhere that we'd like to visit often. I'd love to get a condo on the beach in Destin. So just a few things on there. But yeah, that's really important for me, is to have my goals written down, something I can visualize and see, and it helps me get through those tougher days of prospecting.
Absolutely. So what are your goals then for 2018 production wise and agent wise?
So it's awesome that you asked that question, because I just got off the phone. I have a mastery coach with Tom Ferry. So we set our goal to do 175 units. It's going to be roughly around a little over 35 million in production. It's 105 buyer sides and it's 70 listings.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good goal to have. And that would be what percent increase? About 50, 60% increase?
75% increase is pretty easy. We're at 100. We're finished up right at 100. So roughly 75% increase in business. And what's great about rokrbox and the systems and processes that we've developed as a team is now I know, and I'll use Boomtown because obviously you guys are Boomtown advocates. You guys are you work the Boomtown platform, but I know, on a roughly $500 a month PPC spend with them, I can generate 100 leads. We're spending another, X amount of dollars. I won't say with Zillow, but we know that's going to generate about 30 leads for us. So I know for every agent, I want to give them anywhere between 30 and 35 leads. I go back and look at our lead sources, right? So what are our top lead sources? Boomtown are good leads. You have to nurture those a little bit longer. Some of these Zillow leads that come in, they're going to be a higher conversion ratio because they're raising their hands and identifying a property, and they're saying, hey, we want to go see this property now. So the agents love to get the Zillow leads. So this really gives us an awesome opportunity to get in here and track and see which ones are highest lead, conversion lead sources. And, what does it cost us, per lead? And then we can literally, my business is very scalable and very predictable from there.
Yep. Yeah. And that's an awesome thing. We always love hearing stories about really making a positive impact on real estate professionals, not only helping you achieve what your goals are now, but helping you actually grow your business. And, we've got such, like you said, scalability. We have such a scalable product or service back here behind us that, if you're generating 100 registrations a month right now, and 12 months from now, we fast forward, you've got 200, 300 registrations. Guess what? We already got the team right here behind us ready to back you up and support you. Whereas normally, you're going to be on a mission to recruit more agents to the team. And like you said, investigate a different lead sources. But normally you would have to be hiring another ISA or replacing the ISA that left you. But we've got your back all year long, man. We're really, really ready and excited to grow with you this year in 2018. Jared, do you have any last questions or comments?
Yeah, I mean, Trey, just to kind of finish things up, would you say that there's been any sort of behavioral changes that you'd recommend to the people watching to really help them take the next step and increase their business going into 2018?
Yeah, so one of the things that I kind of want to talk about, Josh, that we didn't really get into a whole lot, but it made me think about it on this last question inevitably. But part of the value proposition that I can offer agents when they come work for me, right? So if I'm hiring buyers agents and I can say, hey, look, we've got this great ISA department that literally follows up with the leads within 5 minutes. They're going to nurture the leads, and they are going to literally hand you warm leads on a platter that you just have to stay in touch with, make contacts, schedule appointments, and inevitably close. So for me, when I go out and I recruit these buyers agents this year, and as we continue to scale our team, there's a huge value proposition from me as a team leader to grow my team and to add that value. That's one of the things like I'm super excited about. But Jared, to kind of answer your question, I was a little hesitant before, and Jared and I talked many times because there are other products out there that claim to do the same thing. One of the things that Josh and Sam have talked about in the past is, hey, look, we're a one-trick pony. We don't really do a whole lot, but what we do, we're really, really good at it. And I think that you guys are like always dialing down those systems and processes to make them better, which is great. And we kind of discussed before, like more, getting agents that are using the product, to mastermind more and see how we can always make things better. So the fact that you guys are so open to doing something like that is really, really awesome. But don't let the price, like I said before, I think the biggest thing is think about this. Think about what is it going to take you? What's it going to cost you to hire an ISA? What's the burnout going to be on an ISA? What is the turnover going to be on an ISA? How much time is it going to take you to train? You know what I mean? And then what if your ISA shows up and they're just not feeling it? You know what I mean? They're having a bad day or whatever. I mean, you guys are working in shifts. You know what I mean? You got fresh people coming in there every 3-4 hours. You know what I mean? They're on the phone, they're dialing out. So it's to me, that was what was really kind of a game changer and made it a very easy, and then it's just to be honest with you, to know every time a lead comes in, I'm not wondering, well, I wonder if somebody's going to get to that. I wonder how long it's going to take to get to it, because I'd go back and look at our Boomtown stats and see like, man, this person's never even been contacted. Like what's really going on? So just to have the, I'm trying to think of a good word. Just to know that things are being followed up with consistently and quickly just makes, I don't even have to think about it, which is awesome. So.
That's great, man. Well, we always appreciate all the positive feedback, and like you said, it's always a work in progress. We're always tweaking our systems and refining everything to make it more efficient and more effective for you. But glad to be in business with you.
Awesome.
We'll definitely get to see you in person in San Antonio this coming spring. We're going to be there for the Berkshire Hathaway annual sales conference. And then also we were talking before we got online here as well. One of our partners, Jeff Cohn, is a big Berkshire Hathaway out of Omaha, Nebraska. And we're actually putting on co-hosting a workshop in May, which is part of Jeff Cohn's one-day workshop. And then he's going to bring in some other vendors like Viral Marketing and rokrbox, and we're going to have kind of a little workshop there as well. So hope to see you there as well. Trey, take advantage of that one-day workshop partnership we've got with Jeff Cohn. But thanks again for joining us today, man. Really appreciate it. Always happy to be a part of your success story. And we thank you again for joining us today.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks again. Take care.
All right. See ya.
All right. Bye.
Bye, guys.